I've been in the perfume business for about 30 years.
I got into lamp working through just the 70s. It became hot. The 70s a couple years ago became really popular. And
stepping up to the microphone and reading the work that I do, and I love it. The scene is a dark alley somewhere in the rich part of town.
I have a duty. I felt it as a duty to combine Western classical harmony together with Indian ragas.
And how I first got into theater.
This business in particular is really challenging. So first off, I would say don't even think about it unless it is your calling.
I was mimicking a guitarist on TV, Slash, was just going at it. My mom and I were watching a concert, and I got up and started mimicking him, and she loved it. She bursted out laughing, and she started applauding for her son, of course. And since then, I've been addicted to the applause.
And so my concern for a lot of young kids is that they go into it because of that, because of this perceived, you know, as I said, all the extras that come with being an actor, and that's not what it's about.
I played a rag called Ahir Bhairav. It's an old morning melody. It comes from the Tat or the mother scale Bhairav.
Started off actually playing with a lot of different African bands. I'm playing guitar. I'm actually playing with a band from Zimbabwe right now. But then I sort of developed an interest in the Indian sitar. And I picked up a sitar for $100 in a buy and sell, started learning in Canada, and then went to Varanasi in India and studied there as well.
And this was a big challenge for me. I mean, usually I do like comedy, I suppose. And I've always wanted to, okay, I wanted to be an actor, to be a serious actor, like most actors do. And this was a perfect role for me to try that. But then, of course, you're playing a Sikh man, you're playing a man who's older, you're playing a man who's gone through more in his life than I've been through, It's set at a time which is in history. There's a lot of challenges there for me as an actor. I mean, this is me, and Gyan is a very, very different person.
She loved to play with the elephants. They sat atop a shelf in the basement, 3 wooden figurine elephants, laden with shiny beads and small pieces of mirror. Every day, at least once a day, she would go downstairs and send the elephants marching across distant and foreign lands to do battle. She had read in a storybook once that men in India used elephants the same way as men in Canada used horses, to travel and work the land and even to wage war.
I'm kind of surprised that a film about dirt hasn't been made. I think we make films about beauty and cleanliness and value and what is good, and I think what is good can only be defined in terms of what is bad, what is clean can only be defined in terms of what is dirty. We're surrounded by dirt. I think we understand ourselves by trying to make ourselves clean, so why not dirt? I think it's high time that someone makes a film about dirt.
I think politics is very tricky, and I think politics should have no say in any form of creativity, whether it's film or whether it's art, or whether it's M.F. Hussein's paintings, or whether it's Valentine's cards. If we live in a democratic society, we should be free to express something.
And just thought, what a weird thing to grow up listening to. Like, it's fun, it's racist media. Like, it is racist, but it's racist humor. And then I found all these people had heard it, and just these websites were coming up for it, and sort of thought, well, there's something in here.
Missing Sri Lanka Silent Tsunami is a film that I made over the last couple of years. It's a film about the Civil War. During the Civil War in Sri Lanka, there were over 30,000 people who were arrested by government forces. These are Tamil people in the northeast, as the government tried to crush the militant separatist movement led by the Tamil Tigers. And It's about families who are still looking for their loved ones now, even today.
The uranium glass is very unique. You know, it's a very expensive material that costs, you know, I was saying earlier, I think it's about 30 times the cost of a regular piece of glass. And what it does is it puts the uranium in there, and that uranium is reflective to black light. So when you put it under a black light, it shines really, really stunning.
Being an Indian classical musician, for example, you know, having this so-called celebrity status, which I've been given in some circles, can be a great help because it gets music like mine out there. You know, a lot of people comment on the fact that people know me, whereas they may not know some people vastly more senior or more advanced because of this, you know, celebrity thing. But on the other hand, that can be very frustrating at times because at the end of the day, I am here doing what I do because I love the music, because I want to promote the music. And sometimes that celebrity can run away with itself. And when I find people perhaps only knowing about me in a very superficial way, the curly hair or the clothes that I wear, the parties I went to, that is not what I'm in it for. Some people like that, you know, but it's about keeping it in context.
And I was so tremendously impressed that I ran home and begging my mother to have a violin. I want the violin, I want the violin. And finally, I got that violin and studied like anything.
Mei Liang is a Chinese artist who expresses this frustration that people who are born speaking English never understand. This sense of overwhelming majority. But in reality, many Canadians speak second languages. What she's done, Mei Liang has done, is she's a Toronto artist, is created these momentary public interventions just to create an opportunity for the audience, again, not in a public gallery, but in private, intimate spaces, in telephone booths, or she's done these little personal interventions and to allow the audience to reflect momentarily.
Just the depth and the beauty of it, and especially the complexity of the percussion, the tabla, the language and the poetry was evident to me immediately.
I don't consider myself an ustad at all. And I have to say, because my father always told me that, you know, the best thing you can do is try to be the best student you can ever be. Every day you walk out of the house, there's something new to learn. How can you be an ustad when you have every day something new to learn? If you approach your life every day with the idea that you are a master of something, you will look at everything critically, as a master would. And therefore, you will not be open to learning more. And so, I always consider myself as a student of music. And besides, how can you say Ustad Allah Rakha, which is my father's name, and then in the same breath say Ustad Zakir Hussain? Then there's no distinction.
This is a fun part of perfumery, where you walk into a shop and you say, okay, pick a scent for me. That's what I do. That's what I love doing. This is my passion. It's been since I was a child. I always wanted to do this.